Welcome to Eat Baila Travel. Today's vlog brings you to the magical town of Peña de Bernal, Querétaro. In this video, we'll be showing you our top 5 things to do when you visit Bernal.
We rented a car in Querétaro and drove 45 minutes to Bernal. The entire ride was smooth and the road conditions were safe.
Here are our top 5 things to do when you visit Bernal. Number 1. Take a tour on the Tranvía. You can pick up the Tranvía at the Jardín del Arte in Bernal. The 1-hour tour costs about 120 pesos, and it gives you a tour of the town, a historical background. We really enjoyed it because they took us to some spots that we probably wouldn't have discovered ourselves. Plus, it had really great views of the Peña. Look, this is one of the most majestic magueys I have ever seen. Look at that.
This view is mainly why we highly recommend that you take the Tranvía in Bernal, because I don't know, we probably would have never been able to come on this side of town to see it from a different perspective, but it's gorgeous.
Number 2, visit the Museo de Dulces to try some local sweets and learn their history. El Museo de Dulces, or the Candy Museum, is a small but charming museum displaying some of Bernal's iconic candies such as sweet potato candies, guayaba candies, piloncillo, and cajeta. The museum has a cost of 25 pesos, and it includes a guided tour detailing the history of the traditional Mexican sweets and a display of candies that have been since discontinued. One of the exhibits in the museum is a setup of a traditional Mexican kitchen, and the setup here is actually recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. We recognized many kitchen items from our grandparents' homes, like el metate for grinding maíz, el molcajete for grinding fruits and chiles, and the large cazuelas for cooking. Camote candied sweet potato with lime. At the end of the tour, you're gonna walk through a gift shop, which is toys, souvenirs, the candy, the different dulces, coffee, honey products, like a bunch of natural products. And what I really appreciate about this place is that not only do they I really educate you on the history of dulces mexicanos, they also have a wine section for you to pair it with, which is super awesome. So buy your dulces and buy your wine and have yourself a nice glass of wine con un dulce de guayaba. Number 3, enjoy the view from a rooftop terrace. Bernal has some jaw-dropping views, and luckily there are many terraces to enjoy some margaritas for when the sun gets hot. We checked out 2 rooftop terraces. Tierra Cielo is one of those beautiful terraces with great margaritas and wine selections. At dusk, we got a little chilly and headed for some coffee at Mas Café. Their terrace view was spectacular. There are plenty of other terrace options in case you're looking for something else. Number 4, visit La Peña de Bernal. Hiking up the monolith is a must if you have the time, enjoy hikes, and have the proper attire. You can climb up to a certain point freely and wandering through the little shops and stands, and then you get to a certain point where they charge and both take your name down. Our tour guide said it was to make sure that whoever goes up comes back down. But they also charge a small fee. It's about 30 pesos right now is la cuota de conservación for conserving the space. And they recommend that you bring water, that you come having eaten, and bring adequate clothing to climb up. So let's see how far we make it. Let's do this. Okay, just kidding. We
really enjoyed the entire adventure, and the view from above was like nothing else. But if you aren't able to hike up, don't worry. You can still take a walk near the bottom of it, or you'll find plenty of things to do, like check out the artisanal clothing, wine and cheese shops, bars, have some pulque, and enjoy the Pueblo Mágico's historical architecture.
Can't wait to wear it. And number 5, do not miss the local delicacies like la penca rellena de nopal, gorditas, pulque, y pan de queso. So this is la penca rellena de nopal, or in other words, a nopal filled with more nopal. So la penca, which is this big one, you don't actually eat that one. It's just cooked inside of. Oh my god, this is amazing. It's just cooked inside of it, and then these are the ones you eat. So there's like the cactus that you eat, and then there's other cactuses that are not edible. This one is. And then you got some tortillas to make taquitos, and
It's very keto friendly.
yeah, right. The pre-Hispanic keto diet. Oh my god, it is so good.
The nopales taste different when you're like.
Oh my god. So because nopales are such a big part of not only the geography here in Querétaro in central Mexico, they're a big part of the diet. And so they're actually just so tasty. They're so delicious. We've tried nopales like in some of the southern states in Mexico, and they don't taste the same. They're not the same. These are juicy and full of flavor. Amazing. Why are you smelling the tortilla?
Because every masa tastes different. This one has a really interesting smell.
Like what?
Like smoky.
Smoky, yeah, because of the grill, the mesquite.
Yeah.
We ordered ours with arrachera, but you can order with chicharrón, with chorizo, camarones. It's cool. Right? It tastes like smoky and delicious.
The tortilla picks up the flavor too.
I need to go wipe my
Wow. The nopales though.
Right? Definitely do not miss on this. Alright, how are we doing in here?
Es una delicia. Es Viva México kind of thing. Estoy enchilado, frío, pero bien tacos.
We haven't seen as many restaurants offering gorditas throughout our travels in Mexico as we have in Querétaro. Bernal has to have the most per square mile, so be sure not to miss out on these. We checked out the award-winning gorditas from Doña Jose. She won the contest for the best gordita at La Feria de la Gordita every year for 3 years in a row.
Yeah, hits the spot.
Award-winning.
Award-winning gorditas. 3 years in a row. At the annual Feria de las Gorditas. That's a real thing. If you're a big fan of esquites or elotes like me, when you visit Bernal, definitely check out these ladies right here. They have a whole variety of esquites with different soups and caldos. So.
Jalapeño, frito, amarillo asado, habanero, patita y molleja del tradicional asado con epazote y mole verde. ¿Dónde es? Pásele, joven, pásele, así hay, sí hay. Pásele, ¿de cuál le damos, de cuál le preparamos?
Last but not least, try some pan de queso. This is also offered throughout the entire town, and it was so good.
They have a bunch of options. There was queso con piña, queso con zarzamora, queso con cajeta, queso con guayaba, all the options you see there. And I chose el queso de zarzamora because I love like a berry flavored cheese. And they gave it to me fresh and warm. Oh, it feels so good. It's so fluffy. It is good. See, cheese.
When visiting Querétaro, taking a trip to Bernal is a must. It's been one of our favorite pueblos mágicos to visit.
Things are everywhere. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video and be sure to check out our other vlogs on Querétaro. We want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters for being the #1 EBT fans. Thanks to you and all of you watching, but especially our Patreon supporters, we're able to continue making videos like these. If you're not a Patreon member yet, I encourage you to consider becoming a Patreon member. That helps us bring you more videos like this. So if you enjoy these, be sure to give it a like, leave a comment, or share with a friend. Thank you so much. Se cuidan, se bañan y nos vemos en la próxima. Chao.